We have a saying around here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no brains, no headache.
Well, hello, boys.
What's up? What's up?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Welcome to No Brains, No Headache Podcast, episode 242. We're back here in the studio for yet another recording for this episode here in the studio. Across from me is my co-host, confidant, longtime friend, fellow comedian. His name is Matt Cleary. I call him Ongo. Some call him Applesauce. I'm Jordan Weichel. I'm going to be your host today. As always, happy to be here. Damn glad to do so. We have quite the show lined up for you guys. Matt and I, we like to do this thing where every other week one of us has a lot of material prepped and the other person has none. I took on the role recently of having a bunch of stuff, actually, and you had nothing.
Yeah, one of us, we never both come prepared.
No, and then why would we? This is No Brains, No Headache. The fans have spoken. The loyal listeners have told us what they want. And what that is for us to have nothing to talk about. And I mean, I got to admit, I have like a bunch of talking points here, but there's not a whole lot of substance behind them. There are a lot of quick hitters, a lot of gut reaction, a lot of just kind of getting a quick opinion and then moving on for the greater good of humanity. But welcome to the show, Matt. Yeah. How are you doing today?
It's cold in here.
It is a little chilly in here. What's that about?
I think it's cold outside and my heater shut off. It's on some sort of weird time because I went and looked at it and it says it's like 4:30 in the morning on my heater's time right now. So,
well, I finally recently updated my clocks in my place to the spring forward time. They were an hour behind.
I never changed my car one, so now it's right for the next.
Now it's back on.
Yeah.
Isn't that the longer amount of time though? Because we only go into daylight savings time, which is an outdated practice. We need to change that. But that's the longer because it's from November to March, just like during winter pretty much. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's spring.
Fall back, spring forward.
Yeah.
And you do it in November, and then we spring forward in March.
Yeah.
So the time you chose is actually a majority of the year is the correct time.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I'm still getting used to it.
I'm still. It's been like 3 weeks, and I'm still just discombobulated.
It's like, why do I keep waking up at like 8:30 or 9 even some days? Maybe sometimes even 10. Back in the old days, a couple weeks ago during daylight savings time, I was waking up at a pretty decent time. Now I'm sleeping in.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's noon. I haven't done anything.
But you don't get it back on the back end either. It's not like I'm staying up an hour later.
No.
I'm going to bed at like 10:30, right around the same time I go to bed all the time.
Yeah. I can't wait to crawl into bed. Have you been grunting a lot when you get into bed lately?
It's been unreal. I've been doing this thing too that I've been trying to like make my bed while I'm already in it. So like you're throwing blankets around, like trying to get everything covered, and it just doesn't work out well.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been me just kind of like grunting and throwing blankets, trying to get situated. And you got Sandwich jumping up, and he gets like in between the covers.
Or when you do laundry and you wash the sheets, maybe you wet the bed, or maybe it's just time for a good washing. And then at the end of the day, you get there and you're like, oh, I have to make my bed. It's going to take so long. 4 minutes,
yeah,
maybe.
If you spend more than 5 minutes making your bed,
I mean, I will have to admit I have been like making my bed on the daily a lot more. I think that makes.
I heard it's like good practice, but I just won't do it.
Well, I think if you just make your bed every day and then expect to just like dominate the rest of the day, I think that's not really where the mindset is.
I got lower standards than that. I go into the day hoping I'm going to fail.
Oh man, I've been trying to get fired from my job ever since I got hired.
You're self-employed.
Oh yeah. Well, it's coming soon. Time is ticking, and it's a matter of time until I'm no longer self-employed.
Time is ticking. You just walk into a bank with road flares trapped you. This'll only take a second.
Well, we're here for episode 242.
Who the hell are you, man? Isaac fucking Newton?
What do we got going on today?
I can't stop getting pulled over.
You seem to be having run-ins with local law enforcement lately. What's that all about?
Well, one, my tabs were in their, this is their words, grossly expired. So the other day, after I had parked in a quarry and got pulled over, I was driving to work, and it was like one of the last colder days of the year. So my window was fogged over in the back, and I just like kind of brushed off the front with my curling broom, and like, that's good. So I'm driving to work, and I pull into like my secured lot where you have to put the thing, and I like look, and I see the cops behind me. I'm like, I don't know how long he is behind me. Like, it could have been like a good while. And I go into my secured lot, and he follows me. And I was like, yeah, I got my ticket right here. I got pulled over like last week. I'm going to go do it today. And he's like, okay, that's good enough for me. The cop's stuck in the parking lot at this point, and he's just driving around, and I'm kind of watching him, and I'm like, I should really do something here. And I kind of like get out, and I like start walking up to him, and he doesn't roll his window down. He opens his door, and I was like, you want me to let you out? And he's like, yeah, I would have figured it out eventually. I'm like, no, you wouldn't have.
This is a secure lot.
You would have had to like blow up a parking barrier.
And Matt's like, also, my lawyer will be speaking to you about entering unlawfully into my private parking lot.
Honestly, that was probably more on my part, because he could have been following me since I like left my house.
Did you never figure? Did he not come up to your window and be like, "Did you not see me for the last 10 blocks?"
No, I was like, he literally was like, "Your tabs are expired." I was like, "I know," and I like held the ticket. And he's like, looks at it. He's like, "Oh, this was recent. Have a good day," and just gives it back to me. Like, it was 2 seconds.
Nice, the old get out of jail free card.
And that's what my plan was, because it was literally the last day before a warrant was issued for my arrest because I didn't pay.
Is there a warrant out for your arrest now?
No, because I went and paid it that day.
Okay, you did actually go do it. Good for you.
Yeah, I always wait for the last day.
Way to stay on top of things.
And then on Friday night, I was at a bar, and
really, Matt was at a bar on a Friday. We got breaking news here on No Brains, No Headache. Matt establishing himself at a local drinking establishment.
you were with me.
Oh yeah.
But so I had to take a shit, and so I went into the bathroom, and I looked at the far stall where I usually go. Someone had just vomited all over it.
This is like 5 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah, it was like
somebody's getting after it early.
And so I go into the first stall, and I hear like grunting coming from outside, and I can see like work boots kind of like hanging out there. And I was like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, this guy must really have to poop. So I'm like, I'm going to do him a favor. I wrapped it up, got out of there. And by the time I got out of there, this guy was in a wheelchair, and I was in the handicapped stall. And so instead of going into the stall because I was in there, he was trying to use the urinal to pee in and was just pissing all over the ground.
You couldn't quite find the aim there, huh?
But also, I was like 15 seconds, and he literally was just, oh, I'm just going to piss on the ground.
Well, I'm glad that we got an update for your bowel movement at the bar on Friday. So that's always good. It's always good. Good way to start out the show. Nice visual for our loyal listeners. By the way, I hope you're watching us on YouTube. That seems to be the new trend. I was trying to explain that to somebody the other day. I was like, I worded it weird, and they're like, they thought that I had just discovered YouTube. I was like, yeah, we're on YouTube. You guys ever heard of it or something like that? And they're like, have we heard of YouTube? I was like, no, I meant like we are on YouTube. You should watch. And that was a real doozy.
A new bit that I've been working on is when anyone brings up 9/11, I pretend that I don't know it ever happened.
Yeah, just like
Gets a laugh about a quarter of the time.
And that's fine. Hey, let's get pumped up. This is the NCAA wrestling match between Wyatt Hendrickson and Gable Steveson. Listen to the crowd.
Listen to the announcer. He shits himself.
An electric moment in American sports. I wanted to share that because I watched that. I just got the chills just a moment ago, but that was pretty sweet. Quite the upset, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, Gable Stevenson's a Olympic champ and a 2-time national champ.
Oh, as I say that in the tweet in all caps, biggest upset in college wrestling history.
But it's not.
That's just what the tweet says.
I think it's third.
The third biggest upset. Still cool. I thought it was a cool moment. You know, it's like March Madness right now, but like wrestling had a moment there.
Yeah, and it's called March Madness.
Oh.
And yeah, it's awesome. I watch the finals at least every year.
Nice. Just like two grown men.
Oh yeah, and these guys
throwing each other
and
around.
with the COVID year, like these guys are like 31 years old.
That doesn't add up, but
they're all like 25.
Okay, that's a little bit better math.
Yeah.
A little bit better math.
Because they all take a red
These guys
shirt.
are 31. Okay, so with their COVID year and a red shirt and an ACL year, they were in college for 13 years.
There's a guy that had a medical red shirt, a normal red shirt, an Olympic red shirt, and then got his COVID year. So he's on his like 8th year.
Got to do what you got to do. I mean, it's wrestling. A lot of respect for the sport, but there's really not much beyond it. It's kind of like cheerleading to a certain degree. You know, you can do it in college, and it's very hyped up, and it's great. But there's what are your professional options? The WWE or whatever.
It's either
whatever
WWE,
wrestling company it is now.
UFC, or you just train full time at like the Olympic Training Center and then go do tournaments overseas.
Well, I mean, like I mentioned, the options are limited. So
yeah, pretty. I mean, Gable Stevenson was on the Bills for a bit this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never played football a day in his life. Made it to minicamp.
It's like the Vikings inviting Brock Lesnar.
That's what it's compared to, because they both went to Minnesota, both from the Midwest. So everyone was like, "Oh, Brock Lesnar 2.0," and it really was.
Yeah, he lasted 4 days in camp. For they're like, yeah, you're not translating very well to NFL. Turns out a little technique goes a far way in the National Football League.
Well, it came back that like in Madden 06 or something, Brock Lesnar's in it. And so like there's guys that go like stream and they break out their old Xbox and they're like, all right, my goal is to make Brock Lesnar a like NFL MVP Hall of Famer by the end of his career. And it's just impossible because he sucks.
Well, it's not great, but hey, we're here for episode 242. Matt, what do we got for the fine people listening to No Brains, No Headache today?
My algorithm is so entertaining at the moment. It's tiny apartments in New York City.
Oh, mine too.
It's so great.
Yes.
They like walk in and they're like, well, there's no bedrooms, has a half bath over there, and there's a shower in the kitchen. $2,800 a month.
I think I saw that exact one.
Yeah.
I saw some guy who lives, I think this is on YouTube though, he lives in Manhattan for like $23,000 a year, which not great. I mean, you know, there's room for improvement. But yeah, this guy was giving an apartment tour and it was just like, God, how much weed do you smoke?
There's some really weird guys too. He's like, this is my favorite reading nook of the house. I have several. And you're like,
we have multiple reading nooks.
yeah, why? You live alone.
Well, New York has it has like a cap on rent. They can only go up so much every year.
Rent control. So New York and LA have that where it can only go up 4%, I think.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5%, which is actually great. Yeah, my apartment tried to make me a quick free agent on a buzzer beater. I was going to be out of town, and then they sent me the new lease. It's ridiculous. I was even talking to one of my neighbors about it, and I was like, she's like, oh, we're moving out soon. I'm like, yeah, me too. I'm going to move out, blah, blah, blah. I took a look at the new lease, and it was a fee. It was a new lease fee. It was the processing fee. And then she was like, yeah, even the fees had a fee. And I was like, God damn, you're right. I saw that in the fine print.
You break your penis, they only fix vaginas.
Yeah, we got the fee, which is an interesting name for a dog, perhaps. But
yeah, it's I love your apartment in Manhattan. What do you think it goes for?
The current apartment that I live in now in Manhattan, I would say minimum like $5,000-$6,000.
I was gonna say north of 5,000 easily.
Yeah, I got a whole bedroom. Matter of fact, there's a spot where maybe the least heterosexual thing I'll say on this podcast, I have a spot for my yoga mat, which is essentially just where I stretch, but I don't want to lay on the hardwood floor. When I take that away and I tidy up and clean a little bit, I have a whole just area for extra activities if I really wanted to.
Do you remember in Austin how big the closet was at Big Zach's?
All I can remember from Austin is when you took a dump or when you walked in on Zach taking a dump in the middle of the night.
Who takes a dump in the dark?
It's his apartment. He does what he wants. I don't personally, but
I would just turn on the lights after taking a dump. There's just shit everywhere. Just what the fuck?
You're like that guy at the bar who just could not figure out the aim. Nobody could figure out the aim, apparently. Somebody blew chunks in one stall. The other stall guys just...
And I expect that after midnight. Not at 5:45 p.m.
Yeah, you need to have a certain amount of decorum for the bar. Like, read the room. If you're vomiting at 6 p.m. on a Friday, I don't know what you were doing. I'm a little jealous.
Well, speaking of New York, I went to another bar, and they had apparently New York prices because I got one seltzer, and it was like $9.75.
Yeah, I got a craft cocktail there. I said, dealer's choice, rookie mistake.
Yeah, it's the most expensive one.
And that guy knew what he was doing. It was quite refreshing. But after tip, because I kind of knew the guy, to throw him a little bone, it was like $11.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen in the Midwest.
Yeah, but at least we found out you have Riz. That was so funny, dude.
Oh, yeah, went and talked to those girls.
Yeah, I was trying to get one of our other friends to go talk to these girls, and I don't know why, I just was like, go, just get over there. I was just trying to make him get out of his comfort zone, and Matt just gets up and walks over there. You had a great conversation.
Oh, yeah, it was like a 10, 15-minute conversation.
You were making them laugh. They were smiling the whole time.
Yeah, and then another one of our friends comes over, says one thing, and they go, well, we have to go, and left. And I was like, well, whatever. I don't want to be here anymore either.
Did you get their numbers?
I don't even remember their names.
Terrific. That happens a lot where I'll introduce myself to someone and immediately forget their name. It happens like way too often. And then you're too embarrassed to ask because you kind of sound like an idiot. And it is what it is. I mean, even when like recently somebody said that they liked me and I was like, I wish you didn't. I would really prefer if you...
I'm uncomfortable right now.
Yeah. It's like, let's just not do that.
Do you want to hang out?
No.
I was watching another thing that comes up on my algorithm is Love on the Spectrum, and there's this one guy on there who has autism and he like can't lie, and he's getting interviewed. He's like, I'm just gonna stay single the rest of my life. They're like, why? He's like, girlfriends are expensive and I have to do stuff with them and I can't do whatever I want, and every straight dude in the world's just like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it works. Crazy idea. Maybe date somebody that you do enjoy doing things with. Is that way too far stretched?
He also said his favorite hobby is coloring, so...
That's fun. That is fun. You get yourself into a coloring book, you got some markers going, some crayons.
They do make adult coloring books now, but I don't want them. I want the old coloring books.
I guess it doesn't matter for me, you know, what age range the coloring book is.
I don't discriminate on coloring books.
I don't. I'll do any sort of coloring book, but I was thinking that, you know, I don't have Tourette's, but I always thought it'd be interesting if I did have a reality show, you know, cameras just following me around for the several times and random times throughout the day where I'm just like, fuck my little tits.
You want the Truman Show? Like that type of like they're always with you, or they're just like, we go back to check in on Jordan, and it's like you getting in your car at the end of the day and you're just like, fuck a refrigerator.
Yeah, well, no, I don't think I'd be very entertaining, to be honest. Kind of live a somewhat boring life, you know, with a few highlights here and there, sprinkled in there, not too often. I'm trying to simplify my life as well. Made some money moves recently to make that happen. I'm really excited about it. I'm impatient as shit, though. I need to learn patience because there's so many things that I want in my life, and the patience is just gonna have to. You'd have no choice.
That doesn't sound like you.
Matt, I'm working on it. Okay. You think you make me seem like just like the biggest dickhead asshole in the world, and I think it's just because like you literally see me at like stressful moments, and like we hang out a lot. And so those few times just get blown up. I'm actually a really nice guy. You get to know me, I'll do some really nice things for you. Not for you. Not for you. Maybe somebody else, though. But not for you. I've known you since we're 5, Matt. We're over that.
Yeah.
We love to hate each other.
Yeah. It's a hate relationship.
It is. And it's great. I enjoy it. I showed up today, didn't I? See, we're doing things together. We're recording the podcast. We're having ourselves a diet soda.
Which I need to go pick up some more tomorrow.
It is your turn.
We did hammer through.
Yeah, did I get 5 or 6 cases?
I thought you got 48 because you got Sprite, Coke, Cherry Coke, and Barks.
Okay, yeah, I got 4 cases of diet soda. But it lasted like a month, so it's not like we ran through it.
I think I would have one like every day after work.
You gotta have something to look forward to.
Yeah. And I would even text Jordan and be like, I'm so excited to have a diet soda when I get home.
Well, I think that's what life is all about. If you don't have anything to look forward to, then it's just kind of a mundane, boring lifestyle.
I mean, opening day, I went and got Dino Nugs. And I was like,
really treated yourself.
I'm going to watch the Cubs and I'm going to eat Dino Nugs.
Oh, yeah. Cubs are playing now. And we, as a podcast, we made sure we invested into making sure we can watch every game.
Yeah. It's actually not that expensive. I think like NFL ticket is like 5 times the price of that.
Probably, yeah. I bet NFL is more expensive, but I feel like people are more invested in other games.
Yeah. I mean, with 162 games, it's pretty easy to not be invested.
Like you and I can now watch any baseball game at any time except for the blackout restrictions occasionally. I don't have really much desire to watch anybody but the Cubs.
No.
I think maybe I'll put on other games as background noise. It'll be a good napping thing.
I think the other day, like the Mets were playing the Astros, and the Astros were up 3-0, but like bases were loaded for the Mets in the bottom of the 9th, and Juan Soto was up. So I was like, oh, I'll hop into that game.
And it's nice. It's nice to have that option. We got baseball season in full swing. Cubs had a doozy of an ending of a game. There's something about the Cubs and just never having a good bullpen.
Right.
We're 5 games into the season, and there is just turmoil.
I mean, Ryan Stressley.
Yeah, we're already coming up with nicknames for the relievers.
Well, last year we had Heart Attack Hector. It's like we're up 4-1. This should be the biggest easy close of all time. Immediate base hit, gives up a homer, 4-3, 0 outs. You're like, okay.
Or one of my favorite Cubs pitchers, and by favorite, I mean my least favorite, Pedro Nope.
Honestly, I remember when he was like with the Cubs and you and I hated him.
Oh, Pedro Strep would get called in. We'd be texting each other like, "Oh God, here we go."
But everyone else loved him, and he's the Cubs all-time leader in holds.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But when you get 4,000 opportunities and you blow 3,000 of them, you still have 100,000 or 1,000.
1,000.
Yep.
Math.
Yeah. It's Sunday. I drank the last 2 days, so.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, anyway, moving on here, episode 242. Matt, what do we got?
I went to Buffalo Wild Wings for March Madness.
Wings Beer Sports.
Yeah. And I ordered, because it was half price boneless wings, so I was like, sick. I got 6 Asian Zing and 6 salt and vinegar. And the guy gave me 6 Thai curry and 6 Parmesan garlic.
Brutal.
And it was like super busy and the service was just dog shit. And so I'm like, this isn't what I ordered. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, I'll take him. He's like, cool. And I'm like, I'm not paying for him though. He's like, oh, that's fine. And I was like, like Parmesan garlic and Thai curry.
I'm going to eat them, but
yeah.
I think I'm paying for them. You think again.
So it was sick. I had 12 wings and an order of fries, and I paid like $4.
Wings Beer Sports.
Yeah.
I know somebody who works there, not the person you're probably thinking of, but I know somebody else who's working there, and it was, I believe, the Thursday of the round of 64. Just a shitload of games.
Yeah, that's
those 2 days go.
That's
yeah,
when I was there.
They go by really quick, so you really gotta strike when the iron's hot. But I knew that he worked at this wing establishment, and I was like, "Oh, you have to work tonight?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Do you think it's gonna be pretty busy?" He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, you are aware that it is the start of March Madness? And he's like, it is? So I had to break the news to this guy that he's
just going to get crushed.
Oh, man. He was. And then I saw him again and asked how it was. And he's like, yeah, thanks for the heads up. At least I was like a little bit mentally prepared for it. But had I not told him, he would have walked in just to the pits of hell. Of just getting boned hard. Me and my reality TV show of bone me hard in my pee hole.
It should be like live PD, but they pick like 6 dudes from the Midwest, and just when something bad happens to them, it's like, we gotta go live to Jordan where he's trying to file his taxes, and it's just you just...
Oh, dude, why do you have to remind me? The clock is ticking on those too, and that's on the to-do list. I have a mound of things to do, and it's just so overwhelming that I'm like not even trying.
We now go to Matt, who's watching a cop drive around in a secured parking lot, unable to get out.
Tough. That's a tough break.
But what do you think? What's your favorite wing flavor?
I mean, honestly, I do just have to stick with like a traditional buffalo. That's always good. I mean, if we're referring to the wing establishment where the motto is Wings Beer Sports, is that what you're asking? Maybe.
Oh, it's like anything really.
Well, and the thing about a wing flavor, as a wing connoisseur myself, it's really kind of dependent on the mood that day. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I am feeling a little Parmesan garlic.
I don't know what kind of mood I would need to be in to order Thai curry wings.
Yeah, I would say I would try any flavor, but they need to be left over. If you come across some leftover chicken wings and you're hungry, it could be any flavor.
Oh, yeah.
It could be wasabi flavor, and you're probably like, you know what, these are pretty good.
So I went to Wing Wars one time in Bismarck, where you just got to try, there was, I think, 15 different vendors that each had 2 flavor of wings. So you got 30 wings if you wanted it.
Nice.
And then you would...
you got to vote on it.
Yeah. And the band they hired was dressed as chickens, and they sang 99 chicken wings on the wall to completion.
Wow.
It took 35 minutes, and it was so annoying. But there was a wing there that it was like a bacon wrapped wing with a blueberry jam sauce that was so good.
I think I would throw the bacon wrapped. I'm sure it's great, but I would consider that probably cheating a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it's performance enhancing for wings.
Yeah, I mean, you wrap bacon just about anything, it's going to be delicious. And I'm not knocking the guy, but I don't know if I would count that as... So he probably wouldn't get my vote.
There was one guy that just straight up had Louisiana hot sauce that you can buy for $1.
I remember there was another event similar to that, but instead of wings, it was mac and cheese. And then I looked at ticket prices for this, and the bare minimum ticket was $45.
Oh, this was $10, and it was well worth it.
Yeah, and then there was tiers above that, and it was why do I need VIP access to go taste mac and cheese?
Do you have to pay for anything?
Here's an
in
idea.
there?
I'm just gonna go get some mac and cheese from the grocery store and eat it in the peace of my home.
I had Easy Mac the other day for the first time in years. It's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, terrible for you.
Oh, not good at all for you. That cheese could survive a nuclear bomb.
It is poison.
Yeah.
Quite literally. Sure, you eat mac and cheese once, it's the end of the world. You down 17 beers, nobody bats an eye.
Yeah, that's true.
It is what it is. Well, let's just get into my other one now that we're on the topic of alcohol training, because if you work at a bar, any sort of liquor establishment, you have to do alcohol training. like to teach you like what fake IDs look like.
Oh.
If I see a fake ID and it looks good enough, we're probably just gonna turn the cheek the other way. You had the courage to come in here. You get the reward.
It's just a 7-year-old.
But I had to do some alcohol training for whatever reason. It doesn't matter, and they would give you pictures because the rule of thumb is if they look under 40, you're supposed to card them. So in this training, they just gave you pictures of random people, and I think it was like 6 total. 5 of the 6 all looked under 40. And then they rolled out a bag of bones. Like, does this lady look like she's under 40? So I was sitting there thinking, I was like, what if you're just trying to like get a modeling gig and you get hired? And you're like, oh, what's this for? And they're like, oh, we are asking people if they look under 40, and you are the outlier who definitely looks not under 40 because you're 78 years old. The poor lady. It was very clearly, no, I would not card her.
I was at a bar I go to quite a bit, and like a new waitress was there, and she's like, oh, can I see your ID? And I was like, sure. And like another waitress walked by and like saw it happen. She's like, no, he's good. I'm like, oh.
Nice. Really got to establish your roots.
Yeah, well, when you go there 4 times a week, it's pretty easy to.
Or the concept of not over-serving. Let me introduce you to something called capitalism. Do you think this country was built on serving the required amount? No, not at all.
There's a reason there's puke in the bathroom at 5:30.
I love that place at certain times during a certain day of the week, but we may need to reconsider where we hang out.
Yeah.
We need to convince our favorite local watering hole to have that same deal. I'll convert over.
Yeah, but it would be absolutely bananas there because they're already busy without a deal.
That is true. Maybe let's work out a deal with
just us.
Yeah, like, hey, the no brains, no headache guys.
Yeah.
They get the hell of it. They get the happy hour deal at this time.
I would get their bar tattooed on my forehead if that was a deal for the rest of my life.
You ever thought about making your car just into a moving advertisement for monthly revenue? I thought about
that. Like, literally last week I saw one for Twisted Tea. And I was like...
It could have been the distributor, but...
Oh, so...
Matt thinks that somebody sold their car surface area to Twisted Tea, and you might be right, but I'm saying,
what if it was like, yeah, I saw one for Red Bull, and it's just the huge box truck they use to deliver Red Bulls,
or like in Talladega Nights, where the sticker just goes over your windshield, and you can hardly see.
This sticker is dangerous and inconvenient, but I do love figures. Yeah, I thought about, so one of my old roommates, he did it for a summer for the Medora musical, and they just put like 2 things on the side of his car and paid him $150 a month.
Don't get me started on Medora. You know how I feel.
Oh yeah, it sucks.
I take deep pride coming from North Dakota, but the fact that Medora is the only thing that we can hang our hat on in a town that hasn't bothered to update, and that somebody the other day said, well, Jordan, that's part of the allure. It's an old-timey town. It's like, that's fine. We can still keep it old-timey, but can we have an update?
Can we have 5 casinos there? Like, it could be the next Deadwood.
Why would we want that? Why would the state of North Dakota want to legalize marijuana or sports gambling? It's fun. People would love it. People are going to pour money into this. Have a good time. That's not the North Dakota way. Let's go to fucking Medora and go to the musical.
But they're like,
excuse my language.
But they're like, we don't want casinos because we want to keep the old timiness of downtown Medora the way it is. Do you think Deadwood's like the most old timey town ever, and it has casinos galore?
I'm just saying, if there's any weddings that I have to attend in the future and they're in Medora, I'm probably just going to respectfully pass.
Yeah, I don't destination weddings I could do without. Also, I just
It'd
refer
be
to
fine if it was my wedding. But
yeah.
fuck it.
I also refer to like everything as a destination wedding if I don't live in that town. They could very much live there, and I'd be like, God, another destination wedding.
It's in Mandan.
Yeah,
I'm not going. I have standards.
that was another thing I was thinking about if they did the time change thing. That like, East Grand Forks and Moorhead, like towns that are right over the border, would be so confusing with everything. Like if they were a different
guess so.
time, because
I don't know how it works.
They used to do that for Bismarck, Mandan, and Mandan bars would be open an hour later. So like bars would close in Bismarck, and everyone would just D-dub it across the bridge.
Hop in the truck. We're going to Mandan. Didn't you puke at 5 earlier? Don't worry about it.
45 minutes of drinking, they just fall asleep on the driving over the bridge.
Maybe now you'll agree. Drinking has its benefits.
What if it was the same guy in the wheelchair that threw up over that stall and then just pissed all over the ground? Like he's taking a shit on the floor away from.
Just bodily
Yeah.
fluids everywhere.
If he just ejaculated and take a shit, he hit for the 4 horsemen.
I tried this one chilling that set my mouth on fire, and I had to drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
He just does
Oh, it never
every
gets
sort of
old.
bodily function in that bathroom in less than 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, we did have to make an addendum to what we call the stadium sweep. Apparently, you can't leave and then come back and finish it.
I think like you could do it every single day. If I just went there at lunch, took a huge grumper, went back to work, and then left work
evening
after.
time, come back.
Yeah, go there for dinner, have
Test
a
the
couple
plumbing.
beers, blow up that toilet. There's a life where I don't take a poop at home anymore.
I was supposed to do the Forrest Gump challenge today, and I kind of forgot about it.
I'm kind of
so-
glad because I was so hungover this
Yeah,
morning that I
yeah.
just
I laid in bed till like 11.
I took one of those naps before this where it's like kind of one of those hungover naps, like maybe going through a little bit of withdrawals. And I slept for like an hour and just woke up pouring sweat, so I had to take a bath.
I shame ate McDonald's last night, so I sat in line for a half hour for it.
I had a chicken. What?
They were getting slammed, but I wanted some cheeseburgers.
Couldn't you just go like inside? Wouldn't that been faster?
I don't know. I don't know if the lobby is open, man. Don't get it. This semantics, okay? Let's not get into it. But the other day I watched The Hunger Games. You a fan of The Hunger Games, Matt?
I like it. I also like Jennifer Lawrence's Yabos.
Does she show them in there?
No, but she does in other films and her leaks.
Matt's got the link if you want it.
No, it was when the fappening came out and a picture of her just covered in semen.
Oh, my future employers are going to listen to this podcast and be upset.
At least you didn't say anything. My current employer doesn't even listen to it. They just gave up on me.
That'll probably be my biggest argument. Like, Matt says it all.
Yeah.
He's got a job.
Even though you start the sentence, you're like, I, Jordan Weigel, fucking hate Jews.
Okay, didn't say that. Scratch that. Didn't happen.
It's called a soup kitchen.
Yeah, the other day somebody briefly mentioned Hunger Games, and I don't know. I got a hankering inside of me that said, I need to watch the Hunger Games again. What's the first one called? Catching Fire?
Yeah, isn't it based on a true story?
Yeah, I think it is. But I mean, opening scene, you know that Jennifer Lawrence is gonna win that thing, right?
Oh, for sure. It's like, there's 3 other movies, and if
Yeah.
she dies in the first one.
Yeah. So yeah, that was like, because right when I started watching, obviously I've seen it before, but I was like, God, this is just so obvious. Like, we know what's gonna happen. I wish I could go back to the first time I watched The Hunger Games, but there's already books out, so we kind of knew. I didn't read them. But
Yeah, I remember in high school, people were obsessed with them. Like, have you read the first one? I was like, I'm never going to read a
I
book.
don't know how to read.
Yeah, I haven't read a book my entire life.
And then District 11 lost their marbles when Rue died.
Oh, yeah. That was sad, though.
So did I. I just trashed my apartment in anger. I was trying to protest a fictional death. Worst way to die in Hunger Games. What do you think? I have mine.
I think the second movie when they like are on the water platform. What if no one even killed you and you just drowned?
Okay, I'm trying to remember.
They're all like on platforms and there's like water.
Oh yeah.
What if you just drowned? Like no one even touched you. You're just not a strong swimmer. The waves turned on.
Well, it's an interesting concept, that everybody's pretty much just got to murder each other.
Yeah. Or like when PETA like paints himself into being a rock. What if
she
someone
steps on him?
What if someone
Watch where you're going, woman?
What if someone would have just stepped on his nuts?
I think she kind of did.
It just has a boner.
Rock hard for J-Law.
I love how he's like, I decorated the cakes at my father's bakery so I could perfectly camouflage myself with a mountain.
Like, he could throw a sack of flour. He has superhuman strength.
Yeah.
How does that translate to a battlefield?
Also, the fact that she had to volunteer because her stupid sister couldn't stop eating more food. Just be hungry like the rest of us.
Why did she have to volunteer? Because her sister kept eating food?
So her name got put in a bunch more to get drawn.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Why does she keep eating?
Your sister's tiny. You don't have to eat that much.
Is that how they did it? It was like a lottery system?
Yeah, and if you like took more food, then your name got put into it more.
This is breaking news here on No Brains,
You
No
just
Headache.
watched the movie.
I didn't know that was based on how many times you shoved your cheeseburger locker full of food.
What if there was just like an Arby's there? They're like, got to put your name in 5 times for a large curly fry. And you're like,
Give me 2.
here's 200. Keep them coming.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just, bad luck of the draw.
No.
And then Katniss Everbeans is like, hey, you know what? I'll go because I'm sick with a bow.
No, it was her sister who couldn't stop eating. And it's like, not like they had good.
Her little sister.
Yeah.
The poor little girl.
She got drawn. She would have been dead.
Where is she getting all this food from? And what do they eat? It's just bread. I remember when PETA saw J-Law across the rainy, muddy roadway and threw her a loaf of bread and it just landed in the mud.
The Capitol Guards give it away.
Oh. And then they jot that down?
Yeah.
They keep track of
then
that?
they're like, all right, we gave you like a pudding pop.
Is this like a metaphor for like, putting your hand in the cookie jar when you're not supposed to?
I think the Hunger Games is a metaphor for that too.
This is blowing my mind. I didn't know that. I was also thinking in the second, because I kind of mixed them up. I haven't seen the third one, I don't think.
There's 4.
There's 4?
Yeah, they split the third book into 2 movies.
Are they all out?
Yes. They've been out for like over
So you're
10
telling me that in the first of 4, that her little sister kept shoving food in her gullet, and then that's why she got busted, and there's 4 movies?
Yeah, the second one's basically
I need to clear my schedule.
Yeah, they made the mega Hunger Games. And then the other 2 is them just being at war.
We're playing Hunger Games right now because my stomach is rumbling.
But they keep doing this thing too. They're like trying to shoot war propaganda for like to rally the resilience or the rebellion against them. So like
I have no idea where the plot goes.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I think I have an idea, but I don't know how
guys
it pans
have tried
out.
PETA and Katniss just.
Do they?
Oh yeah, they have a kid at the end.
What?
Yeah. And the kid's like black.
Stop.
Looks nothing like
Stop.
that.
Quit ruining it for me. My worst way to die is tracker bees.
I was gonna say just like
from the first one. What about in the second one? That poor bastard gets stuck with the old lady and has to carry her everywhere.
I think that guy lives for like a good while.
But they eventually have to kill each other, no?
Did you not watch the end of the second one? Didn't you watch the end of the second one?
I kind of remember it. It's a little foggy.
A bunch of them like escape from the thingy.
The thingy?
Yeah.
Like the Truman bubble?
Yeah. How about PETA just running into the exterior wall and it shocking him and he dies?
PETA dies?
And then they bring him back to life. This is the second movie.
I clearly need to watch these. Yeah. Is that what I think it is?
Oh, yeah.
I saw that on the way over here.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
All right, enough with my Hunger Games review, Matt. Let's get into your weekly and lovely segment called Wait, You Can't Do That?
This week's Wait, You Can't Do That.
I know what I got.
Man has been putting his jugs of piss into the recycling in Washington.
Enough!
Not even his own garbage. He drives his car to this neighborhood and puts it in other people's garbages.
Oh my God. From here on out, you keep your distance, all right?
So this guy is putting his piss jugs in somebody else's
Yeah,
recycling bin.
he-
How far is he traveling for
I don't.
this?
They don't.
This
they
is diabolical.
They haven't caught the guy, and then but everyone's trying to catch him. They like keep getting him on camera, but not a good enough like picture of him or what he's driving.
It's like Sasquatch.
Yeah, it could very much be Sasquatch.
It could be Sasquatch.
Yeah, it's that area is just flush with Sasquatch sightings.
It's like the victim list top is
Yeah.
just a hazy picture of a Sam Squanch.
Yeah, but so this guy's just been putting his piss jugs, and you actually can't do that. Apparently, urine is a biohazard. So the homeless man that I peed on the other day should really get checked
I
out.
thought I got stung by a jellyfish.
I do wish, like, the first guy that got stung by a jellyfish and his friend was just totally fucking with him. He's like, I need to pee on you. That will make it all better. And then it actually worked. And they're like, what the?
Okay, let's not get into Mythbusters. Back to the piss jug bandit.
Yeah, so the neighborhood watch is really out to get this guy because the local police are not doing a single thing about it. So one guy, that was getting hit like every two, it's like 6 gallons of piss every week.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And so this one guy's like, I'm not putting my bin out. And then so the guy still went to the neighborhood and threw it into the neighbor's garbage. And so that neighbor got pissed, didn't put his out. And so like they were just playing piss jugs, musical
chairs.
Yeah.
Piss jug chairs.
piss jug chairs.
Piss jug bandit.
And yeah, they have not caught the piss jug bandit.
This is interesting. How long has this been going on, would you say?
The guy's lived in the house since 2006, but it's been going on for like since started in September. So like,
Holy cow.
Yeah,
this is 6 months of piss.
yeah. And, and the guy quoted saying he's getting interviewed by the news and like looks into the camera and goes, if you're him and you're watching, please stop. Please just don't do it anymore.
This is diabolical.
And then he comes and the next thing he says is, it's a lot of pee. And then he said, I mean, this guy's really pissing me off. Low hanging fruit.
This guy's really pissed. Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
You can't do that?
No.
What if you just put it into the garbage? Is that still a biohazard?
Yeah, it's still a biohazard.
Because what is this, recycling bin or garbage? Or both?
He's putting it in the recycling bin because it's plastic. Also piss.
Full of the plastic jug, just full of urine.
What would be funny is if they drug tested it.
That was my next suggestion, is like, are they going to kind of whittle down the suspect list by drug testing it? And be like, okay, we got we can tell it's a male because of the aim. And we have a male who does crack and methamphetamine.
Yeah, it's like this guy is just really dehydrated right now, actually. He is. Like, look at his piss.
And eats asparagus from time to time.
On,
There's a lot you can find out.
yeah,
Just off
Austin Powers when he's pissing for the fountain because he accidentally unplugs it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, there's a plate of asparagus sitting there.
It's no bong. It's for my schlong.
This is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Oh, man. Well, what else did we want to talk about? What do I have here? People sleep in vans, but what's stopping us from buying a semi-truck with a sleeper?
Nothing. It's more expensive.
Okay. Pet peeve. I hate it when people who I don't talk to often text me, hello, or hey, Jordan, and nothing behind that.
My pet peeve is people that I've been friends with for years, and I ask them every single week if they want to hang out, and they never text me back.
Oh, I like asking people who live like on the hundreds, if not thousands, of miles away if they want to hang out.
Just as a joke.
Well, I just want to see their reaction. They're like, sure. It's like, well, I guess we can FaceTime. Oh, how terrible does the new Netflix show Battle Camp look?
What's it about?
No idea. But it's taking a bunch of reality stars from other Netflix shows and like making them compete. It's kind of like MTV's The Challenge, except they're just taking like Netflix people.
You know how they could make it really good?
Hunger Games.
I was just gonna say, make it a real life Hunger Games.
Was it right hand?
A Mockingjay.
This is a Mockingjay?
That's the sound it makes.
Uh,
Honest, I think Rudine is this generation's G-Baby.
Pretty much. Well, I was going to talk about how this, we've talked about it before, 500-pound rapper Dank Demoss, who sued Lyft, is facing backlash after posting revealing photo shoot. Because I clearly didn't fact check this until moments before we started recording. Good Lord. And
she's pretty hot.
Oh my heavens.
She has front butt.
Yeah, there's a picture here where that looks like, if I just showed you like this, would you think that's an ass?
Yes.
Cripes. Yeah, she got a bunch of hate on social media. Good Lord.
Jesus. What the fuck?
I had one comment lined up and it was so funny.
If she sits in the back seat of a Prius, that Prius is just going to be dragging on the ground.
She's actually so pretty, but those panties need a rescue mission. No, one person commented and said, I guess it just shows you how durable the human body is.
Some guy just said she looks like she's ashy 24/7. What did that one guy say?
Where does your stomach start and where does it end? I didn't really come here to do this.
Yeah.
Well, I thought
fun.
that she lost her lawsuit against Lyft, and apparently that was not true. So I was like, well, that was pretty quick, but you know, it's the justice system. Things are going to take a while. Her lawyers, though, interesting. Overrated bottle openers.
Yeah, you can pretty much open them with anything.
Well, yeah, and I mean, most things are just like twist offs.
Yeah, most beers that I drink are twist offs because I don't drink with IPAs.
Yeah, but why do you like? I have so many bottle openers.
I feel like
why is that?
There's too many. Bottle openers are like the thing too that's easy to make and sell, so people do it.
Yeah, I have a lot.
I want to get this shotgun roulette thing. It's like a Magnum, and you like put it on a can, and it has like 6 cylinders. You just put it in there, spin it, and then you cock it back, and so like only one charge goes into it. And then like loser has to shotgun. Crowboy did it with like 6 different types of beers, and he ended up having a shotgun of 4 Loko.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
I could probably get behind that, but I don't have anything else.
No, yeah, let's get out of here.
All right, well, that was episode 242. Thank you guys so much for listening. We have a show coming up this Saturday, April 5th at Central Station Events in Mandan at the event space down below the bar. So if you want to come out, support No Brains, No Headache, we're doing a little bit of a showcase. So we're going to do a few more comedians with shorter sets. It's going to be a good time. Come get tickets ahead of time or at the door. We'll be there to see you guys, get some merch, have some beverages, have a good time. That's what we're all about. And then we're probably going to take, honestly, the summer off. I know it's not summer yet, but I need a break just to get the creative juices flowing again and, you know, just get over this wicked depression, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not great. But Matt, how can our listeners get more involved in the No Brains, No Headache universe?
Well, if you want to Venmo me, my Venmo is Matt Cleary2. I need some dino nugs. You can also follow us on social media on all major platforms, or you can leave us a rating and review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, or subscribe on YouTube. That really helps us out, get us thrown into that algorithm a little bit more, and comment too. You can say that I suck, because, I mean, that's what most of the comments are anyways.
Check us out on YouTube, and challenge for you. Share this with your friends. Share the link with your mom. She's probably going to love it. They love this show. I don't know what it is, but it's really soothing stuff on a Tuesday afternoon. But thank you so much for listening. Next up, episode 243.
You're watching Channel 4 News with 5-time Emmy Award-winning anchor Ron Burgundy and Tits McGee.
Good evening, San Diego. I'm Veronica Corningstone. Tits McGee is on